I think this person is very upbeat. I think this person has a lot of depth and breaks silences with humor. Definitely, probably a misunderstood individual. He's very much an individual. I like that. I might not be able to see every aspect of his personality, but I'm like, ooh, you are different from all the rest. That is for sure. Very upbeat, very happy, make everybody's day. I said, what happened? He goes, so suddenly, unexpectedly. I was like, did you see it coming? He like looks perplexed. He's like, well, no. So far we're getting multiple, oh, you can't even see what I'm writing. That's fantastic. So far, excuse me, it's looking like it happened really suddenly, unexpectedly, high vibes. He goes, very important to know that I'm okay. Ooh, this person either has a light energy, possibly a kid, but anyways, I'm okay, at peace. I passed before anyone was ready. He went in for hip surgery and went downhill very quickly. And that's why he went like this. Remember when I said, did you really expect? Remember when I said, well, did you expect to pass? And he goes like this, and I made the gestures. I might have this box right here, but I had my hand on my hip, I promise you, okay? And I was like, did you expect to pass? He goes, no, I can't say I did. And what are the chances? He went in for hip surgery and went downhill very quickly. You know what? It kind of, our very first reading, Chris, okay? Something about the way this person declined, okay, kind of morphed into Pamela over here, like their comfort level, how they got out of their family's hands just in time to be, guided painlessly out of this world, as our medical is supposed to do, right? And then what are the chances we have, and remember how she passed of sepsis? What are the chances that we have this? We have Melvin, and I'm like going like this about the hip, and I don't expect to pass, and it seemed pretty routine. And then I feel like there was a piece missed or a sanitation blah blah blah, and it almost seems again like a sepsis issue. Nothing healed right. It almost seemed like he goes yeah, you kind of notice it's a little uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden you lose all your color. And he goes, and I lived that way for a minute. I was like, what is going on? Like, let's say the first sign that something's wrong is you kind of like, you're awfully pale. You have a little loss of color in your cheeks. You're awfully pale. And then he kind of never got the color back into his cheeks from when he had gone pale after he had the surgery. He is showing me a cold hand. So he doesn't make me feel like he's alone at the end, but if let's say I'm standing there holding his hand, like the color's out of his face, his hand is cold, everybody knows what's happening. So I think that there's some sort of consciousness, some sort of him understanding that you're there. I think your warm hand versus his cold hand is probably the only thing helping him, feel grounded at that point. I'm getting goosebumps right now. At that point, all you can really do is brace yourself, and you helped with that. I don't know if this is your parent. He makes me, and this is weird, but he goes like this, and he's like, makes me feel like you cradle me, makes me feel like you give me a safe place to be myself, my safe place to land with everything. You make me feel like, I don't care if this is your daddy, you wiping his butt so a nurse doesn't have to is going to make him feel like you give him a sense of dignity. It's your pawpaw. Whatever he's talking about, whatever you did, holding his hand, whatever it was. Okay, so you said the whole family went in to go say goodbye to him when the doctor said it was time to, and he may be a little cold, and he may have been a little unresponsive, even if you held his hand and said goodbye to him, but he tells me that he was conscious. It made him feel grounded. It helped him it helped him brace himself essentially for the inevitable. So we all knew it was happening, and he kind of is like getting ready for a spaceship takeoff, and it's just a conscious different. He goes, your body doesn't feel like anything, Kato. You just kind of like wake up into a dream, and you totally know exactly what you went through, you know. And I was like, right, isn't it cool? And he goes, oh, so cool. He just said, I'd invested into the stock market had I known everything I know now. And I was like, right? So he's really good conversationalist. He always lifts the energy up. Like I said, very upbeat. This is definitely one of the good die young. You know, one of the good die young. And even though he's your papa, which implies grandpa, I would still say he passed before his time. Says he's at peace. You've seen him in your dreams. He shows me a reservation is kind of a sign symbol. Like, let's say you have like a wedding that he can't be there, but you saved him a seat, you know? A graduation that he didn't make it to, but he was there in spirit, essentially. So he definitely shows me he's not missing out on these things, which is awesome. Awesome. Love that for us. Love, 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 love. He was just 4 months shy of 100. 4 months shy. And he's like, I passed before my time. Okay. He's 100 years old. Dang. 4 months shy of being 100 years old, but acted like a 15-year-old boy. Remember, even in the beginning, I'm like, his energy is so high vibrational, and his energy is so upbeat. I would almost say it's a child, but I know that it's not. Honestly, that is wild that this man was 4 days from being 104. We can only imagine that, okay? We can only imagine it, and we are lucky to get there. And I love that, actually. So you know what? Whatever he needed hip surgery for, I think busting a hip or needing some sort of surgery or not healing properly, par for the course. Very normal. Very normal. Sucks to have him go. Very normal. Love you. Thank you so much for bringing him in.